Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to the Current Affairs Show with myself, Abdul Jabbar, and Amr Hussain. So, we were talking about before the break, we were talking about the England, the UK has recognized the state of Palestine. So, they've officially now recognized the state of Palestine, and we were talking about that. If you will move on to the next topic, which is about the which is about the flag worship in the UK. If you've got any questions, comments, or you'd like to join us, you're more than free to ring in on 01274 271 787. So we'll move on to the next topic, which is a bit obviously it's one which we've seen flags, a lot of flags being put up and down the country, and it's basically people are coming out and saying this is we want our country back. You got other people with flags as well. So, Ahmed Bhai, what do you think of these flags that are coming out and the protests that happened by Tommy Robinson? He had a lot of flags, and the people were tearing some flags with the kalima written on it, and very Islamophobic to do.
I think that particular event was Islamophobic. But going to the original question, which is the flags, I think obviously is the right wing agenda that's pushing for it, and is foreign money from the Zionist and Elon Musk, people like Elon Musk, American money that is being pumping in the United Kingdom that is actually perpetuating this. I think this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the Zionist and American funding. So all in all, is foreign funding that is actually perpetuating this, and unfortunately, I think the racists are now taking over as the only flag bearers, true flag bearers of the St. George's flag. So, in actual fact, obviously, we've seen flags around in and around the buildings, major buildings throughout the United Kingdom, our Bradford City Hall, and many other places without any hindrance. There's never been an issue, and I think they tried to say that article, we own the flag. These other people, minorities, do not own the flag. They got nothing to do with the flag. They hate the flag, but I think that's further from the truth. And I just probably like to point out regarding St. George's, the St. George's flag, uh, article is a person, well, not particular actual person, who's never been to the United Kingdom, by the way. That particular flag, he was born in what is modern day Turkey. His father was from there, but his mother, incidentally, was, or some people are saying, that is referring to as Palestinian, but she was from the area where Palestine is. So that's very interesting. I think the Palestinians should use that to their advantage to say, yes, we love this flag as well. St. George's mother was from actually Palestine, believe it or not.
Yeah, so I think this frenzy that's obviously what's happening over the last year or so, 2 years, I think it's been, where the riots took place after the Southport murders, and then there's been hotels that are being targeted where asylum seekers are staying, and now obviously with the hype that was created, you had maybe 100,000, is it 100 figure?
I think some people are claiming it to be 100 to 150,000, but it's more closer to 100,000. Tommy Robinson's claiming there was 3 million. Obviously, that's false. The police, everybody else is claiming it was 100,000. So 100, 110, 120, but let's say 100,000.
Yes. Obviously, what can we do about it? I mean, the thing is, most people are being brainwashed by their social media, by the Nick Frages and the Tommy Robinsons, But I think there's a good discussions that are being taking place on LBC. That guy I've been watching a lot of his discussions with the racists and Islamophobes, and they don't have a clue. They don't have a message. They can't answer simple, questions. So they don't have a clue as to where they're going with this. Yeah, so this country cannot survive without immigration because if you look at the demographics, the birth rate is so less that they have to have people to work in the industry, into the NHS, into all departments. So if they start kicking the immigrants out, it's going to be the country that's going to be suffering, not those people. They'll go out of the country. If they take them out of the country, it will be a loss not only to them who have come to work, but also to this country, which will lose those people. And these people are trained. They already work. They're gonna, obviously pay taxes. So, what kind of, like, when you look at people saying, "Oh, I'm gonna vote for Raj. I'm gonna vote for reform." Do you believe he's gonna solve your problems? No. He's there to make his own killing, to make his own dollars and pounds.
I
And,
think his obviously talking about Nigel Farage, his banking background, his father, he himself, they were in the banking field. They are doing it for themselves. They're doing it for the rich, for the elite. All of his friends are elite, and now because of the people like Tommy for Robinson and others, there is a swing to the right, where people are more right wing, and the media are helping that. They give more airtime. There was a report where they were giving more airtime to Nigel Farage. The Liberal Democrats are saying, "What's going on here? We've got 70 odd MPs. We're getting no airtime." So it's going that way, where the media and everybody collectively are moving towards the right. Obviously, less hope is turned to civil unrest, which some people are saying civil war, but civil unrest. There's a minority, the 10% minority of ethnic minorities. What they call, most of them are hardworking. There are some bad apples, but we shouldn't paint everybody with the same brush. So it's very important that what they call, these people are actually found out what they truly are. So people, they hate immigrants even though their own families, even though their own family background is from immigrants. So Nigel Farage has got his grandparents, roots were from Germany, and Tommy Robinson's Irish. So are these guys British? These guys are more as this, as I think I'll classify them as British as I am. So there's no difference where obviously we were probably more British because our grandparents were in the British India, and if you look at it that way, we're more British than these guys. So unfortunately, we call those facts people need to know that is shocking. Where Irish people who are the sons and daughters of Irish, they say that we call this is our country, we hate foreigners. Well, probably 30-40 years ago, they had really nasty slurs about the Irish, really nasty slurs about the Germans, and now look at this. They are loving those German and Irish descendants. But the other descendants, probably because of the skin color, to be honest with you, they're white, they can get away with it. Unfortunately, others can't. But I think what we've seen in this protest and everything, the amount of Islamophobia is massive. There's massive hatred. Even the atheists, Tommy Robinson says this is a Christian country, even though he's an atheist himself, right? So they classify it as a Christian country XYZ, but the people who are saying this are atheists. So they got mixed agendas, and because of the foreign funding that they gain from, especially from the Zionists and Elon Musk, they just here to cause civil unrest, which there shouldn't be, and they need to let people know, yeah, these guys are actual minorities, and if there is an immigration problem, which there is, we had the Brexit problem, which by trusting Nigel Farage caused massive issues. Now we've got this issue. I don't think we should trust Nigel Farage or people like Tommy Robinson who are on the payroll of the Zionists
I think
and
you're
America.
absolutely right. What I was going to say was Farad and his wife and kids are from Germany, and he basically on one of the interviews he said to the interviewer, asked him, and he said, how would you feel about Roma people moving next door? Then he's talked about the language where I was on the train and people were speaking a different language. I felt uncomfortable. The thing is, it's a multicultural society. People have different languages, and the interviewer, he asked him, "What about your kids? If when they speak German or your wife speaks German to you?"
And I believe they've got the dual citizens. They got German passports as well.
Yeah.
So they're taking regarding the EU situation. They actually are an advantage themselves to put everybody else as a disadvantage because of they've come out of Europe, but they themselves as a family are in Europe. So what do you call it? Yeah, it's interesting, And are there any white British people actually left who are actually perpetuating this? Not really, most of these people, actors or people, they're mainly disillusioned, and they're mainly going after, the immigrants themselves, and they're going against the immigrants. If there is a problem, genuine problem, then they need to resolve that. But we don't see that, unfortunately, and they don't like it when you do mention it, that their backgrounds, and okay, Boris Johnson had a Turkish background, Nigel Farage got a German background, Tommy Robinson's got Irish background. Are these guys? Will you classify these as guys as British as well? They're as British as us guys, so really they don't have any leg to stand on.
Yeah, this is obviously what you're looking at is rise of the Farage as a Reform Party, and everybody is thinking about the elections next year. So your party, we discussed that earlier on, and we're talking about the flag worship, the flags that was being the biggest far right march that took place on Saturday. So we will continue covering these current affairs and keep you updated. So keep tuned to Radio Apniwas and our program, which is Current Affairs program. If you want to give us any topics for in the future, and obviously we've talked about Raj and Reform Party and the EDL. So I'd like Amr, if you can just summarize everything in a minute or so, and then we'll take our permission from our audience.
Yeah, I think the only thing I'll probably like to add is the characters, the Muslims, shall we say, should be that of closely linked to how our Prophet Muhammad, Sallallahu how they portrayed themselves. They were kind, they were gentle, and I think what we see nowadays is people who carry the name Muhammad, in newspapers, they say a bad example, right? By saying that bad example, it makes good reading for the extreme driving will make a big deal about this. So I think people need to be careful in what they do, try to be better themselves, try to be more law abiding. I think that's really it, because also recently we've talked about flags, when I think somebody I was talking to earlier, they were talking about the flags that Muslims raised in the United Kingdom. So we've seen when Peer come and there is Julus from the UK to Ireland recently, and uh, at the actual airport, they were waving the flags, and the videos were going around, and people in the comment section were saying all sorts. So I think people need to be mindful that they're already saying there's going to takeover. By if they see 100 men walking around with flags which are foreign looking, they may take that differently. So I think it's all in the mindset of this.
Yeah.
At the moment, the war is in the mind. We don't want to play. This shouldn't be in action. Hopefully, there's extreme right-wing people who hate Islam, who hate. Don't give them a reason for it. Don't give them any justification. Right? Obviously, with regard to the flag, we're British or English. We can we got as much authority as they have with the flag, and I haven't seen any instances where people have burned the English flag or did anything. I haven't seen that, so that's a good thing.
Yes,
So
a good thing. Yeah.
so it's and people are actually embracing it. So I think recently in GP News, I think I showed you a video where they were showing on Wimbledon Road how people were behaving. I don't know if half of them were drunk or what would you call. They were dancing around, waving Pakistani flag, and they were poking fun at them. GB News was so, but I think obviously we went to an event ourselves with the Pakistani independence event, and we were next to a flag, a Pakistani flag, which is fine. But obviously, if you're going on a bus stop, on top of a bus stop, and dancing around crazily, that I think that's probably a negative image. So I think as we need to act better in our communities, you have to people that don't know the language properly. They need to learn the language, the cultures, British culture, where we've been here for over 100 years. Also, people came on in the navy ships in the 1800s. Muhammad Ali Jinnah came here. Lots of people have. I think the person who named Pakistan is buried here in the United Kingdom.
I think he's buried in Oxford.
Oxford, right? So we've got all this. We've got this history shared. Fortunately, unfortunately, with Britain, there's a lot of involvement, and we're actually one of the people that actually helped in the Second World War. One of the people that actually caused problems. We actually helped, aided them at the time of distress. At the worst time, the most armed forces were from the Indian, which was British India, which is now India, Pakistan, and that people need to know. We don't really need to validate ourselves. What you're doing here, this, that. We're British. We've been here many years, and we're here to stay.
Yeah, I think you have to be a role model for your society, and to Muslims and non-Muslims, we should raise their character.
And also, just talk about the flag. We saw a flag on the new mosque that's being built in the Lake District. Is it Lake District?
Near the Lake District.
Near the Lake District. And they put a British flag on. That was in the news, but they put the flag on themselves. It was found that they actually put the flag on themselves outside the mosque, so it's no big deal. So we've got white British Muslims, which is absolutely fine. That's on the increase as well. They've got their own mosques. We have had mosques for I'm taking a guess for many years. But the first mosque was. But was it by Quilliam?
Abdullah Quilliam.
Abdullah Quilliam. So
In
yeah, so
Liverpool,
what do you call? We're here and we're part and parcel of the society.
So Jazakallah khair to my brother Amr Hussain for joining me. Inshallah, we'll bring you another episode, inshallah, very soon. On Sundays at 4 p.m. Don't forget to tune in. And it's Assalamu alaikum from me.
Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for having me. Take care. God bless.